tightens. Into 3 left and 3 right narrow exit. 20. 2 right don't cut into 6 left. 20. Line. 20. Open hairpin right. 20. 6 right. 50. 5 right into 4 left and 5 right. 50. Turn, tight square right after 3 and square left, 20.
Welcome to a brand new series called Inside Rally. I'm Jonathan Green, and in this series they take me out of the comfort and warmth of my commentary booth and put me in the world's finest rally cars, all under the watchful eye of the Gwyn Rally School. Each week I'll be put through my paces examining every aspect of this ever-growing motorsport. And in this, our first episode, I'll be joining a class at the school who are trying their hand at a rear-wheel drive course with the Ford Escort Mark II. Now each week I'll be joined by Natalie Barrett with her behind-the-scenes look at the world of rallying. Now Natalie made her debut into the world rally scene in 1998 at the Rally of GB. She came 38th overall, 11th in Group N and 2nd of the ladies. Now we'll join her just a little bit later as she goes to M Sport, who make the Ford Focus World Rally car. But now it's time for the all-important briefing, where we're going to learn about the rally car we'll be driving, the stage we'll be taking part in, and more importantly, the skill for today, which is driving a rear-wheel rally car. So let's get started. With me on the course today is Paul Cooper, the current 250 British Motocross champion. Tony Brown, he's a delivery driver and mechanic. Peter Miller, a driving instructor, so that'll be interesting. And Andy Jordan, who's age 14 and is a real wannabe rally driver.
Right, morning everybody. Morning, I'm Peter Gwyn. Nice to see you all here. What we're going to be doing today with a rear-wheel drive car is teaching you about car control. The stage we're going to use is all marked out fairly simply. We just use the tyres to mark it out. Don't use proper trees or anything. But if you can think of the ones that are stood up at the end of the line as a tree or a concrete block, something solid, these are the ones that I need you to avoid. We'll start with Jonathan, unfortunately for you. Yeah. Then Paul, Tony, Peter, and then young Andy last. When you get in the car, Sue will help you in with your belts in the passenger seat to start with, and I'll take you around for 2 laps just to show you where the stage goes.
Now today we're doing the rear-wheel driving course, and that tends to make the cars oversteer a great deal. Pete, can you just explain exactly what oversteer is?
Yeah, basically it's when the back of the car wants to overtake the front as you're going around a corner. As you go into the corner, use a little bit too much power, the back will slide, and that's basically what oversteer is. To correct it, all you're doing is just turning into the slide or opposite locking, easing off the power a little bit and just balancing the power and just controlling it. It's very easy to control.
Right, here we go. Right, briefing's over, and of course I've drawn the short straw, so I'm out first, but I've actually suddenly started to get a little bit nervous because when he started talking about the tyres and if I hit one they bring us back and stop us, and I'm like starting to wonder where they are and how close I'm going to get to them and all the rest of it, so I'm actually getting a little bit nervous now, but never mind, we'll have a go.
But you'll see it's very well laid out. So as we come out, we'll take this lap quite slowly just to show you around. I'm going to move over to the right, quite wide into here. Little bit of power now. Come over to the left here, because this one's a little bit tighter. And away you go. Nice and easy.
Aha! Now, that's really interesting because you know when you go on an airline pilot and the pilot comes in on the plane and says, you know, just over here, we'll be going travelling at 55,000. Same sort of thing. He's so cool about it. And he took me through about 15 different things and I lost it about the third. The handbrake turn, I was still thinking about that as we went around to the second lap. So I think I've got a fair bit of work to do here, but thankfully I've got a little bit of time because he's going to try with the others now. So I'm going to see if I can remember any of that.
Back onto the power to make it slide. Then it's right and a short straight up to the hairpin, very wide in, then round to the left. Just coming into the hairpin, braking hard.
The thing that amazed me was how much car movement there is for the direction that you're trying to go. You know, like you're always sideways thinking that you want to be going that way, but he's actually going that way, sliding.
Yeah.
You know, it's like a weird
Well, the one thing that he relieved me about, because I thought, because he's not that fast at all.
No, it's actually very slow.
But he doesn't change gear. It's second the whole way, except for the handbrake turn.
Yeah, yeah, and then into first.
Right, Pete, just go. What do you reckon? How was it?
Absolutely fantastic. It really, really was. I can't wait to start with my learners when I get back tomorrow.
Now, you're a driving instructor, right?
Right, yeah.
This is not a bit odd for you.
Well, it's going to be really hard work actually, because I don't think I'm going to keep up with you guys. You know the weakest link?
Yeah.
Well, I'm it.
Right, well, I've seen all the demo sessions now, and now it's time for the first driver session, so I'm actually going to drive the car. And watching all the other ones didn't help at all because it just made me more nervous, and I'm still worried about that first handbrake turn. If I get past there, job's a good one. Easier said than done. Ugh.
Now second, now right, little bit of power, now turn left, little bit of power left, ease the power right, now power, ease it again left, now harder on the power, start to turn right, keep a little bit of power on, a bit more, and left. If you use the power to drive the car and steer it rather than the steering, keep the power on here, just the clutch, handbrake, 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 handbrake. You'll get there.
All over the shop.
You'll get there.
All over the shop.
And left. And harder on the power, a bit more power, then off the power, let it turn. Now turn it left, little bit of power.
Well, as you saw, I started with a stall, so couldn't really get further back than that after that, but no, I really enjoyed that. There's a lot to get right though. I can't get the handbrake turns right. I'm all over the shop there. I can get in, but I can't get out without any speed and all bogs down and all the rest of it. He says that I've got decent throttle control, but my steering is useless. Hands all over the shop. Hands at dawn. But step one, I didn't hit a tyre. Cooper man, I didn't hit a tyre. It's up to you now.
I must say, you're improved. You could actually see you improve left by left by left. It was
the last, I did one handbrake turn. It was all right.
Yeah, I saw a couple that were very good. I didn't see your very last lap because I came to get ready, but you were improving big time.
May the force be with you.
Uh-oh.
Good luck.
Stay to the left a little, now right, a little bit too tight there, now right again, now left, keep over to the left, and now right, and now round to the left. Get it over to the left, stay left, stay left, stay left, right, power. Off the power, off the power.
Well, Paul, you've been out again. What do you reckon?
Well, it's absolutely awesome. It's so difficult to control the car though. I mean, it doesn't look difficult from here, but I mean, when you're out there, there's so much movement going on, and that's the thing that just surprised me. I mean, the steering wheel's going all over the place, and I was struggling to actually hold on to the steering wheel really and keep going the direction that I want to go.
You look good on the handbrake turns. They were very impressive. What's the key? What's the secret?
I can't tell you.
Come on, please. What did you struggle with, if anything?
Smoothness, really. Just need to get a bit smoother.
Now, things have come a long way in rally since these kind of cars saw any action, and now in order to be successful you have to spend and spend big, and really only the big boys stand a chance, and one of them of course is M Sport. They're responsible for Ford Motor Company's entry into the WRC.
Since 1979, Malcolm Wilson Motorsport has developed itself from a small local rally preparation firm into today's M Sport, the company responsible for running Ford World Rally Team. They're based here at Dovenby Hall, just outside Cockermouth in the Lake District.
Why Cumbria? I think it's quite simple as far as I'm concerned. It's literally the town just down the road, Cockermouth, is where I was born, and I've lived here all my life. I've travelled all the world as a driver and obviously as a team manager, and really to me there's nowhere like this, and obviously we've been blessed with this fantastic location. We were awarded the Ford contract to run the Ford World Rally Team from 1997 onwards, and at that point in time we were at another location to here, which is literally about 5 miles away, but on a similar type of design to this, an old property with old buildings that have been converted. But obviously once we got the contract, it was inevitable we needed somewhere where we could house a lot more people, because at that time we only actually had 18 employees. So it was a big recruitment program because we were only awarded the contract in November and we had Monte Carlo Rally in January. So it was a pretty hectic time.
Well, it's difficult. I started off as the workshop manager here, running the workshop side, but as it grew you couldn't control all the departments, you couldn't do everything, it was impossible. So we broke the job down quite a lot and I became operations manager just to make sure everything sort of comes together at the end. It's all right having one department that's doing really well and they're on time, and if you've got another department delaying, at the end of the line it's the cars. It's like a production line, the cars have to leave on time. We can't delay the rallies or anything like that. We have to be, you know, it has to go on time. And if we're going to Australia, like these cars here, they're off to Australia end of this week. So they have to catch the flight and then we have to ship all the air freight with it. And I have to make sure that all comes together basically.
I think, you know, we came very close even in 1997 to winning the championship with Carlos Sainz. It was only we had a problem on the final day in Australia, but we managed to finish runner-up even in our first year. And I think if we had got that success, I think it would probably have been too early, because at the end of the day, it's now taken us, 5-6 years to get to the point where we are now and really be at what I would class the sharp edge of the technology with our car.
I'll be back later chatting with Malcolm and meeting some more of his team, so join me then.
Well, that's it for now from Inside Rally, but join us after the break where I'll be continuing my rear-wheel rally driving course, and we'll cross to Natalie, who once again takes us behind the scenes of the WRC M Sport team. Join us after the break. Well, we've had a little lunch break now and I've had time to sort of gather my thoughts together and think what I'm going to do in this next session. And I think the key here for me anyway is to just try to do exactly what Peter's telling me to do and put it into action. I did it a little bit on one of the laps in the previous session, but I didn't quite get my head around it. But the idea for me anyway is to concentrate on my steering and concentrate on using the rear wheels to actually steer the car. Easy theory, got to be able to do it now.
Look for the exit. If you can't see another corner for a little bit, take the corner tighter, because you can get more power on, and you know it's going to be
I think that's what I want to concentrate on now, is where I should be on the road. So where should I be here? Because I always get here. Right,
now left. So you want to be there, staying over to here, basically aiming for that tyre there. Now right, so you're coming through there, just over, as you are, stay as you are.
Starting to think a bit now. Yeah, that's my third session now, and they've changed the course just slightly, made a couple of the corners slightly tighter, and they've opened up on a couple of others. He said afterwards, he said, you could tell I was concentrating, and I was. I'm starting to try and put the theory into practice.
Here. Now braking, little bit of chicane, right and left, little bit of power, and foot brake, off the foot brake, handbrake first. That's it, get it going, well done.
Well, Tony, how was that session for you?
It was better, this one. You get more confident in going into the corners and your steering's better. And I found you listen to him more on this attempt. So.
I know, I'm definitely trying to listen to him more, because that's what I was definitely lacking before. I was sort of doing my own thing.
Yeah, I was just, every time I come into a corner, I was correcting what I thought was right and not listening to him when he was telling me to power and not power.
Yeah.
So this go, I've gone round quicker, and it's felt more, I was in more control of the car.
So stay right, now left, power. Stay to the left, right, get over to the right, now left. If you're going to use the power, you've got to either hit it hard or stay off it. Now power, that's it. Ease a little here, now left, now power, turn right.
Well, I'm really chomping at the bit to go out for this next session, because I feel as though I am going forward, but just in increments. I've got to get a little bit more comfortable and trust what Peter's telling me about swaying out the rear and using it to steer me around the corners. I see the tyres coming towards me and I kind of let off and chicken out. Now I've just got to trust what he's saying and hopefully get into the rhythm of things. Let's see how much rhythm I've got.
Clutch first. Not bad, just a little bit too quick to actually be able to carry the power through. Just work the power so you don't have to turn the steering more. Ease it a little, ease it, ease it, ease it. Really feel the car start to slide. And now right, now power.
That was the most fun I've had in a car, I think, generally. Finally, I started listening properly to him and trusting him. Effectively, that's what it's all this whole day for me anyway, it's been about trusting. When he says, put the power on, I've done it. And finally I did it, and even though I thought I was heading straight towards his tyres, as soon as I put the power on, missed them completely, slid the car, it felt great. Then I got it wrong again, but that's another story. Right, well, I know what's going on with me, but what about you two? Pete, Andy. First of all, Pete, I don't know, I feel like I'm going forward, but I'm still making a lot more mistakes than I should be, but what about you?
Well, I felt my second run was better because I felt as though I was in more control. My third run was a lot faster, but I felt as though I just wasn't controlling it as well as I did the first time. So this fourth run, for me, is going to be a big must. I just watched your last run, and you were awesome. You were flying down that straight, and I thought that you were going to lose it on that one bend, and then you pulled out of it, came into this hairpin bend, and flew out of there.
How about you? You seem very smooth out there, and you seem to be, well, I know you've done some of this before, but you seem very comfortable.
Yeah, it's good. I'm getting better as the day goes on.
What are you picking up on now?
The smoothness, really.
Yeah.
Speed.
It's taken me time to just trust what he's saying. When he says power on, there's a tyre coming at me, I'm convinced I'm going to hit it. And yet, when I power on, I drift way by it, and everything's fine.
Yeah, I think that you've got to listen to him, but that's definitely the key.
Okay, ease the power, right, power. Harder. Ease the power, left, power. Now power, turn right, hard on the power. Now braking, off the foot brake.
Well, there's a lot more to rallying than just driving the car. There's a lot of preparation that goes on behind the scenes that a lot of people just aren't aware of. Natalie explains more.
Rallying is very much a team sport, and no one knows that more than the driver. What you see on the TV at home is the cars going flat out through the countryside. But we rely on so much of what goes on in there, and there's hundreds and hundreds of man hours taken to put together the car, and also what happens in there by the management. There's so much more to a rally than just the car on the stage.
Emma, your title is sports therapist?
Sports therapist, yeah, and sports massage practitioner.
So what do you exactly do for the drivers?
I'm involved basically in making sure that they're in tip-top condition. If they have any injuries at all, like Francois at the moment, suffering from a calf problem, then they come and see me when we're away on events, particularly during the recce. Some of the drivers don't like any treatment when the actual event is on itself, but they get a lot of their treatment, recce's and during the event.
So what do they come in for most? Is it arms, backs, legs?
A lot of the problems seem to be neck, an awful lot of neck injuries, and upper back and shoulders. A couple of the drivers actually also suffer from forearm and wrist problems because the tightness of the steering wheel grip. Yeah. So really it's like a production line of neck problems. There
are obviously some costs which are fixed, and as you've hit on one there, the cost of a Focus WRC 03 is in the region of £450,000, and as you can imagine, we take 2 of those to an event, so that's £900,000. You can do, we tend to do anywhere between 4 and 6 rallies with a car, and then that car then moves on to either a private individual or customer, or we tend to then move it either to a test and development team, so we actually get an extended life out of the car.
That's about all we've got time for, but thanks to Malcolm for letting us have a look round. And I'm sure all of you are going to look at the World Championship in a different light next time you watch it.
Right, final stage, as they say, or the last session of the day for me, and this is the one where I'm going to be actually judged. Now, Pete is not actually going to teach me or say anything to me as we go along, and I don't know if that's going to make it easier or harder, because he's not going to be telling me when to put the power on. And so, well, it's all up to me now. A little bit nervous, but I'm actually, yeah, ready to go again, because I'm feeling as though there are a couple of things that I think I've got now, and if I can put it all together, he says not to be as aggressive as I was before, and if I can do that and just be a little bit smoother with the way I put the power on, job's a good one. At least that's what I hope.
And I'm just going to watch what you do.
That felt much better.
Much better. Don't be afraid to keep the power on, but don't turn in too early.
Right, that was my final run, and finally I think things were starting to click then, and I felt the most comfortable I felt, even though I messed up one of the hairpins and completely got it wrong, although I didn't stall it. But hairpins generally I feel a lot more comfortable with, and I'm getting around there, I'm getting on the power, and that's good. Finally, I had one of the 4 laps, he said, that I definitely got into the rhythm of feeling the control and sliding around the back end or whatever. And actually it helps that he's not talking, because usually when he's telling you that you made a mistake or you've got a power here or whatever, you lose your concentration and start to worry about it, and you're already into the next corner. This time, you can actually fully focus and get a little bit more intense about it. It's great fun though, and I think I've definitely improved. There was one lap there where I definitely felt as though it all came together, and then of course it went out the window again, but that's how it goes, and let's just see how the others got on as well.
Turning in a little bit early into that corner there. Just a little bit more speed into that.
Right, Paul, you've just completed your last run now, and obviously I think there were a couple of things I got right, but definitely a couple of things I got wrong. How about you?
Yeah, same with me, but I've got to say that last drive it's kind of re-inspired me now. I don't want it to end. The other drives I was kind of thinking, oh, let the last lap be up, because I was making so many mistakes, but that one, it just seemed to flow a lot better, and I really enjoyed it.
Firstly, you all enjoyed yourselves?
Yeah, Paul.
You sure? You don't sound like it.
No, I didn't.
Right, your assessments now. I'll just quickly go through them. I won't read everything out that I've written, so you do have some things that you can take away that nobody else knows about. So we'll start with Jonathan. Good improvement, just need to work on balancing the throttle and the steering a little bit more. But well done. If you want to come up and get this. Thank you very much, well done.
Well, that's it for me, rear wheel driving course, and looking at my assessment, certainly not top of the class, but certainly the one thing that comes across more than anything else is that there's a lot to learn. Those may be old cars out there, but I certainly haven't got my head around them, and as this course goes on, I think it's going to be a lot more work than I thought. But that's it for Inside Rally this week. Join me next week.